We're recording, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You are live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Videoland Express Live. There we go. I'm just checking the monitor over there. Hello, everybody. We're cutting out the introduction, the music, and all that because we have a lot to talk about right off the top. I just want to make one or two announcements. And back of us, you see the Videoland Express blog. That's going to be a standard. Of course, we have videolandexpress.com, the website. But this is my daily blog. As a matter of fact, if you look at the date, let me get out of the way here. New show today at MNN at 5 p.m. And you see a little link right over here about J.J. Abrams tried to shut down Star Trek. Yes, I found that. That's an old article I bookmarked back in March. I found that because everybody heard the announcement that's not going to be no TV show. Michael Dorn, who played Lieutenant Commander Wolf and DS9 and The Next Generation, he was trying to push a show. A lot of other various people. Bryan Singer from X-Men, the director, he was trying to do a show, a spin-off for Star Trek. And J.J. Abrams kind of shutting down. He's blaming CBS. And it all started with J.J. Abrams. And, I picked on him a couple of shows ago. And now he's saying, CBS doesn't want to do the show. No, folks, it is him. But we're not going to get that much into it because the link is right there. I'm going to post some more links on Monday. Okay, right on this blog site. Now, this blog site gets updated every day, except for maybe Sundays. But I'm going to have more links. And every day I post something, what's going on with the shows. I'm going to have a new show on Blog Talk Radio this coming Wednesday. Okay, so basically, if anything to bookmark, it is this blog site right here. Okay, I'd like to welcome Mark with me over the show. He's been helping me out in the past couple of shows. And he's been up to date. I've been a little bit dragging behind. He's got a review of Hunger Games, but right now I got a stack of DVDs we're going to do here, DVD/Blu-rays, whatever the format is. Of course, Unification Star Trek, that finally came out. It has a good commentary. Of course, End of the World Pictures. This is a great double feature right over here. And I got to admit, you definitely got to check out We Are the Millers. For all your lovable potheads out there, along with Cheech and Chong animated movie. But if you want to see End of the World, there's a great double feature. What I love about this here was in not one, not two, but three commentaries. If you see the movie again with the trivia track, and you see the movie again with storyboard. So you can see this movie 5 times with 5 different bonus features and about 2 hours worth of features. Bonus features, behind the scenes, deleted scenes, and a bunch of stuff like that. And I gotta admit, for a low-key picture, this is the last of the trilogy, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, the last picture. These guys are going to be doing together for the trilogy because we know Monty Python is right around the corner. They announced they're going to be coming back next summer. So we're keeping it all English, of course. Anyway, I would say this has got to be one of the best Blu-ray releases because you get your money's worth on this. And, of course, everybody, tonight, it is Doctor Who night. Never forget your first Doctor Who. And yes, there was rumors about Christopher Eccleston. He was supposed to be in this 50th anniversary special, but they got John Hurt. John Hurt is the actor most famously known as the guy in Alien #1 with the thing coming out of his chest. That's the famous John Hurt. And he plays the old doctor, the missing doctor. I don't know, some time thing, whatever you call it. Christopher Eccleston couldn't agree on certain aspects. Well, you always had problems being a Doctor Who ever since in the beginning. There's a lot of, I'm going to include some web links on Monday about exactly what happened. Everybody has different theories, and Christopher Eccleston was never happy. But he would have been happy to be a part of the 50th anniversary, and he couldn't get along on certain aspects about the script with the writer Moffat. So he's not in the show, so they got John Hurt instead. But we're getting the other 2 doctors. That should be really a fun time tonight. And then real quick, my last Blog Talk Radio show, I mentioned Men of Steel. Of course, Zack Snyder does like a 2.5 hour, almost 3 hour picture-in-picture. They show the picture, and he's there with a bunch of actors coming in and out of the picture, talking about how they made it. That's a really great treat. I still got issues with this here, especially with David Goyer, the writer, and there's no mention about him writing this movie whatsoever. I thought that was kind of suspicious. It would have been nice to him to say, what was he thinking of doing all those flashbacks? No mention, not even Zack Snyder mentions that. They just go over that whole aspect about the way the story was written. But for you Superman fans, and I mentioned this book a couple more times, this is the last time I'm going to mention it. Superman vs. Hollywood, How Finished Producers, Devious Directors, and Wearing Writers Grounded American Icon by Jake Rosen. All behind the scenes, a lot of trivia. The disaster that almost became Superman with Nicolas Cage, what happened with Bryan Singer, and a bunch of other things. A lot of great trivia, and I forgot the bookmark, but yes, everybody made a big deal about Ben Affleck being Batman. But here's a picture. Ben Affleck appears as Doom TV personality George Reeves in the 2006 feature Hollywoodland.
Oh, so he can play a Superman character.
Yeah. Yep. So he played the actor George Reeves, who played the I believe it was the black and white CBS TV series back in the 1950s. It was a story about, it was a biography about him. And so Ben Affleck knows, he's a friend of Kevin Smith, who wrote one of the scripts for Superman. He got turned down. That included Brainiac. Everybody knows that producer John Peters wanted his giant spider. Everybody knows about that story. And of course, the giant spider showed up and Wild Wild West with Will Smith. And everybody asking, what's up with the spider? But anyway, you want to know all about this. I can't recommend this enough. This book, from a 1 to 5, this book gets a solid 10. I rate all my things in DVDs and Blu-rays and articles like that from a 1 to 5. This book gets a 10. This got to be the ultimate book on Superman.
So it gets 5 capes.
Yes, 5 capes all the way. It will make Batman really jealous. Okay, so that's a little DVD reviews, Blu-ray reviews, and everything like that. And
so speaking about Blu-rays, how long is it till Blu-rays no longer exist? Funny
you should mention that. I was talking to a person in sales in one of these stores. I'm not going to mention Best Buy, JNO, or anybody else. But there's a new format, and that's 4K. Somebody was asking me about that. So everybody knows Sony tried to sell everybody at home the 3D, which kind of tanked. As a matter of fact, they got a 3D sale in Best Buy. Not plugging. We're not getting paid for this. Okay. No money under the table. Anyway, but what happened is they're selling the 3Ds, I think like $15.99. They're on sale. Wow. Okay, they're trying to get rid of them. Remember, they were very expensive, $30, $40. Right. And now they get, I think it's $15.99 or $16.99, something like that.
I saw that.
You saw that, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to get rid of them. Now they're trying to push 4K. The 4K is supposed to be even crystal clearer. I saw Batman Begins. I thought it did look fantastic. The problem with that is because it's such a high definition, there's no extras, not even a trailer. Okay, and then you need to buy the TV, which is about $3,000-$4,000.
Mucho dinero.
Too much dinero, and especially in these days and times, and with the economics going on. And I mean, how many movies are you really going to own, especially when you want to see a picture? What do? You tune in
Netflix. Yeah, it's a better deal too than Amazon. Amazon, you got to pay probably $10 per movie.
Yeah.
But Netflix is $10 per month. I mean, I'm not plugging Netflix. I don't work for them. I don't get anything from them. But it's just logical. It makes more sense.
It makes more sense, of course. You know,
they're going to win the game. Speaking about that, was it Blockbuster?
Yeah, what happened with them?
They're finally done. They finally close up everything.
Yes.
They close up their franchise. They close up their Netflix sort of deal that they were operating out of the internet. Officially, last Saturday, they were closed. They're done.
Good for that. I remember there was two different times I returned the tapes on time. You could drop it in a box, and they said, "Oh, you were late." What do you mean I was late? I brought them right back in time, and they charged me twice. They did, and I never forgave them for that. I said, "You guys gonna get your due one of these days," So when I heard that, I said, "Good for their asses," They deserve it. Again, corporate greed at its best, and bites them right in the ass, and that's what's gonna happen with the 4K. And as a matter of fact, somebody reminded me of this. About 8 years ago, I forgot which country, either France or Germany, they had a kind of like a holographic disc where it can actually, we know Star Trek Next Generation, 7 seasons, right? Well, it was a disc to the point, I'm just doing this as an example. Well, a disc actually had, I think it's binary or something, the way these discs are encoded. It was a holographic image a digital image, and it could actually hold all 7 years of Star Trek Next Generation on one disc. The company heard that and said, no way you're ever going to release that. Because everybody knows season 1, season 2, the market price is $79, $89 plus taxes, almost $100. So you want to get all 7 seasons, that's $700 right there. One disc, all 7 seasons, they were going to come out with it maybe for $150. And said, no, nobody's going to make any money. So they killed it.
Yeah, Greed's going to catch up to them, I think.
Yeah.
Eventually, like I was telling you before, I feel bad that all these fans, like for example, Star Trek fans, they're dying off, possibly. And who eventually is going to try to pay $800, $100 per season?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now there's old fans like us who want to see Star Trek the TV series, but we're not going to get it because J.J. Abrams doesn't want to touch his franchise. Now people said, but Frank, and he going to Star Wars? Yes, but he does have a contract he's got to fulfill to do that 3rd movie. And once that is up, then he can concentrate. Don't forget, right now Disney owns the whole package. Right now, Star Wars, Abraham he's just a hired gun. Eventually, he does have a contract where he's going to share some of the merchandise with his company, Bad Robot, whatever it is. But he's basically still a hired gun. He's still in the contract with Paramount to finish the Star Trek trilogy. Now, the rumor is once he gets off that trilogy of Star Trek, it's going to go to other people, other hands. Then hopefully we'll get the TV series. Apparently what the CBS is waiting for to have the next movie completed, then they can get rid of his ass. Then they can come out with the TV series. Because the last Blu-ray, season 5, sold hundreds and hundreds of thousands of copies, believe it or not. Okay, mainly because it has an hour and a half making of, actually paying tribute to Gene Roddenberry. That was a big selling point. Okay, so people saying CBS is kind of like denying. Well, I don't think the time was right. I don't think nobody. No, because CBS has that contract with J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams says, upon contract, you can't release anything else besides my movies that I'm making for you. Again, corporate greed. So once they can complete that trilogy, the next Star Trek that has to do with the Klingons, which I think is a bad idea because the Klingons look like they're from some heavy metal band, all punked out with goth with earrings and the foreheads and the ears. So like, that's not our Klingons. Come on, that Klingon have blue eyes. What the hell is that about? Anyway, so as soon as they wrap up with that 3rd movie, hopefully we'll get our TV series and we get J.J. Abrams out of the way. He's going over to Disney to do his Star Wars. Who the hell cares? Okay, so let's go to the big faux here. Now, I'm going to open up with this here. Did I see the new Hunger Games? I didn't, only because I don't want to see a sequel to a movie that's based on a book which is copied from a Japanese movie called Battle Royale. Okay, so I was no hurry to see. I saw first Hunger Games. It was fine. It was okay. Jennifer Lawrence, she's a cutie pie. Who cares? I had no intention of seeing this new movie, but luckily, Mark has his full review.
Yeah, I won't give too many spoilers. Like you led to know, the first Hunger Games was basically right off the movie, right off the book, Battle Royale, right off.
Right.
This second movie, it seems like they're dealing in the Twilight fans. It becomes sort of, it reminds me of the last Twilight movie, where it becomes more awe-inspiring than the first. And I definitely seen that they spend more money. They sent their budget went up to twice as much money they spent on the second movie than they did on the first. And you can definitely see it on everything, on the scenes, on the sets, working on the dialogue, working on the script. The second Banana to Cadmus, he does more in it. You actually start liking him more than in the first one. He was some wishy-washy little guy who was a baker, basically.
Right.
But in this time, they make him more likable. You know, I thought that was going to be hard to do, but it's sort of like they're trying to feed into the Twilight fans. And I definitely see that in this movie. You know, I definitely see it becoming more awe-inspiring, sort of like you start trying to feel with Katniss. You start trying to feel with her male counterpart. And if anything, it seems like this new direction of sci-fi is going towards female romantic dramas. Do you see that? It's coming in the air.
I noticed that a little bit in the trailer. We know definitely the reason Hunger Games. The prediction is it's going to make over 150 million this weekend in 3 days.
Look at that.
And basically you can tell that's all the Twilight fans
Yes.
have found something else.
Yes.
They're
feeding into the fans. They're smart. They finally figured out. The female fans. They're more. I'm sorry, but there are more females out there than there are males. What is it, 3-to-1 ratio?
Yeah.
They finally figured it out. We could tap into that market as sci-fi. Bring the female audience. Bring them in with drama, sci-fi. Make it all inspiring. Make it feminist, empower women, and boom, you get an artist. Boom, you get $150 million.
At least
That's so smart.
Yeah.
What was the last time you heard about a movie scoring $150 million from the point when it came out which was on Thursday for advanced screening?
Yeah, the advanced screening made 30, then it made another 70 on Friday, and so the predictions are it's going to. This is a box office mojo page. Mm-hmm. They're saying at least 150 to 160 million.
When was the last time you heard about that?
Now the only movie that came close was a couple of weeks ago was Thor. And of course, the females actually brought that number up, and that wasn't the fanboys.
Right. No.
Because if you saw the opening weekend for Captain America and everything like that, Iron Man 3 doesn't count. That was more for the whole family going. Okay. Basically, you got two good-looking guys, the two brothers, and the females went for they love Loki because he's a bad boy, a punk rocker. Girls love a bad boy, right? And of course, you got you got Thor,
Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, good-looking guy, big, long hair, big muscles, and everything.
Yeah,
and
women for him to take off his shirt, he takes off his shirt.
Yeah, when first 15 minutes, boom, the shirt comes off. Yeah. I said, this movie's for the females again. Again.
His brother's in the Hunger Games, and he does the same thing. He pretty much takes off his shirt. And basically, somebody said these two guys don't have any intelligence. Their whole goal in life is going to be taking off shirts in movies.
It worked for Mark Wahlberg, right? And that's what it takes. We're independent producers. If that's what it takes to get girls to coming, the girls, they don't make movies for us.
Yep.
Well, we're making movies for them, right?
And pretty soon they're going to cut off the fanboy. They said, what? They only make $50 million. We'll make dramas, sci-fi dramas for women.
Yeah.
And then boom, you hit 150 million.
And 15, and it works. Hey,
because the woman's gonna go, the young, what do you call it, fangirl's gonna go there, and she's gonna bring a boyfriend, and he better go or else.
Yeah, the poor bastard is dragged into to see the movie.
You don't see any guy saying to his girlfriend, "Come on, let's go see The Expendables #2," even though it's gonna be a #3.
Right.
It's great. I love it. It's for me, but I'm afraid that down the line, these sci-fi dramas for females are gonna kill all the
it's
machism.
Funny. Well, it's funny you mentioned Expendables. It's on the drawing boards. They're going to have a female version of Expendables. Already they talked to...
That probably clear 150 million.
They already talked to Cameron Diaz. They're talking to Meryl Streep. She's going to be like the brains of the organization,
I can't wait till she rocks that beret.
Yeah, I can actually see that, it goes to the Japanese anime, women empowerment. She gets attacked, and all of a sudden she spends the rest of the movie getting back in revenge and nice body count and stuff like that.
But remember, if you want the good numbers, the good female numbers, I'm sorry to say this, you're gonna have to make it sci-fi drama. That's what they love.
Well,
Twilight, Hunger Games, they want sci-fi drama. I'm talking about the female audience, not us.
Right. We don't count apparently anymore.
We're going to become diamond stores. Eventually, they're going to make movies for us anymore. We're going to be back in our man caves watching Netflix.
Yeah, talking about the good old days, how we went to see Expendables 1, 2, 3.
I remember, and like you were saying last week, they were talking about all these new lists of movies or heroes that are going to be on Netflix, like Johnny Cage, Iron Fist.
Right.
We're going to see all these now on Netflix. And now basically television is going to be our domain, and the movie theater is going to be the domain of the females.
Of the film. Well, I think they earned it. I got no problem with that, we got to give it to them. They earn it. As a matter of fact, a little recap from last time we were talking. We did mention everybody is jumping in the board game. Okay, now Marvel's going to have a spin-off on Netflix. We mentioned that last week, right?
Yep.
2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And now
four different shows they're going to have.
Okay, and then we met, of course, the Marvel with Disney. Okay, they're gonna exploit that already. They're gonna push some more TV shows like Agents of Shield. 20th Century Fox, they're gonna have X Force, and then they're gonna the Fantastic Four. And forget to mention that now Sony just announced this week. I'll put that link up on Monday on our blog site. That's right behind us. Just a quick reference. Anyway, Sony has announced that in Spider-Man, there's going to be Electro and Rhino. They're going to get their own spin-offs, believe it or not. Sony is going to go ahead and concentrate on these characters and everything involving, anybody involving the bad guys, the villains, in the Spider-Man world. Okay? And Spider-Man had a lot of it was, as a matter of fact, Venom. He's going to be the first one off the drawing board, and he's going to get his own spin-off already.
I heard about that. And yet, wasn't Venom in the beginning like a horrible villain? Wasn't he like a cannibal? And all of a sudden now they're changing, they're updating his profile, making him seem like a good anti-villain instead of like a vicious, evil villain.
Right. It was supposed to be like the dark side of Spider-Man or something like that.
He was killing people.
Yeah, I never got into Venom for some reason. Well, actually, because he wasn't an actual creation of Stan Lee. Stan Lee said himself that was a character that was created by Marvel back in the 80s by a bunch of other guys and stuff like that.
So it was probably created by people who were tired of drawing Spider-Man in different colors and they said, it would be cheaper if we just do a black outfit with a white symbol. And that way we waste less ink.
Yeah.
I think that's how it was created. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, they didn't have to spend any money on white ink. You just make it blank, right?
Yeah.
Just draw black and
black and a white spider.
Yeah, that's it.
And eventually they developed the character. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but now Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we mentioned also last time it was getting a little bit tiring, and they're talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that they're going to infuse hints with Captain America Winter Soldier that's coming out in next spring, and already they're going to have some mentions in Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. because they know it's the fanboys are speaking on the internet. It's like
it's terrible.
It's getting a little boring. It's getting boring. It's boring. And how about some more references? Obviously, they're not spending the money on the budget.
Yeah, they're not. Obviously, they're not because you watch. I watched the last episode, and all this guy. The main character was dropping, and he was name dropping, constantly name dropping. Oh, I know Thor, I know Thor, I know Thor. Well, why didn't you bring him on then? If you know him, bring him on.
Afford Thor.
Can you afford him? Jesus Christ, stop name dropping. Bring in some of these characters you talk about, because if you keep talking about it, I'm not going to believe they exist.
Yeah. I mean, what was that?
Bring in the Hulk.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson made an appearance, right? He was in the cabinet. I think that was the second or third episode, and now they're just dropping names and stuff. It's like,
my God, it's terrible.
You gotta get with
terrible.
it.
It's like being in a Hollywood cafe and hearing starlets talking about, oh, you know who I went to dinner with?
Yeah. Thor. How's he doing? He's doing pretty good.
He's really, really good. It's boring.
So they're trying to infuse that and with the movies that are coming out, and eventually they're gonna drop even more mention about the Avengers #2. We like to see these characters and bring them on Agents Shield. Yeah. Now they want to expand on this. I don't know how they're gonna do this if they're gonna run into the ground of just name dropping and not actually concentrate on showing more characters. I mean, they got them. The characters they got. I'm not into any of these guys.
I'm basically jumped off the ship. I'm not even continuing to pursue this show anymore.
Really?
I'm sorry to say, yeah. I'm giving up. I think I sort of clocked out a long time ago.
Even with that cutie pies, it's not even cutting.
It's not helping. I mean,
Minya looks depressed. She looks like she wants to be on another show. Poor thing.
Oh my God, they all do. They're probably like, oh my God. Why don't they do a series of Twilight? I'd rather be on that.
What happened to our careers? This is where it lands up. But but another thing I got to say though, right now is the time to strike it hard because everybody knows every 10 years things go in cycles. Okay, and so we got Sony, we got 20th Century Fox, we got Marvel, we got Disney.
Oh, we got a call. Go ahead. Are you there?
Yeah, I'd like to call in.
Just speak. How are we doing?
How are you?
Oh, okay. I guess I just want to listen. Anytime you want to speak, just go ahead and speak. We see that you're on the line. All right.
Can you tell us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we enjoyed the show. It's just a problem. Some of these superhero shows, they like in the X-Men, they had so many different X-Men on at the same time. It's hard to show each guy and feature them. So sometimes, like with the Avengers, if they put too many on, how the hell going to be featured? This is the problem when you put them all together. Don't you think that's an issue?
Well, I think the problem is that the first X-Men, the first couple of X-Men movies, I really didn't like it. It was too Hollywood. The second X-Men group, First Class, I felt that the writing was a lot better. The actors were better. I don't know. It was like the difference between seeing something from the '80s and seeing something from this generation. Or the difference between quality writing or quality movie making and movie making of the '80s. So I don't know. I saw the first group of X-Men. I'm not interested anymore. They sort of made them, to me, they made them seem sort of vile and too commercialized that I'm not really interested in seeing that group of X-Men anymore. The second group of X-Men seemed like they were more 60s noir type of X-Men. From the silent era that I'm really more interested in seeing. These guys are a lot better. What do you think?
Well, Frankie, you mentioned all the different Marvel heroes, and there's so many of them to draw on, and they keep doing the same Spider-Man over and over again each time. Or like Batman, they did the same thing over and over again. They can't just expand into different stories, and that's a real problem.
Well,
they're just thinking about making the money, the sure thing, but
definitely.
I'd like to see different storylines and different characters.
Well, that's what Time Warner is really. They're really nervous right now. That's why they got Ben Affleck as Batman, and it's a different version where he's a lot older. He's weary, something like the DC Comics animation that goes straight to DVD, which I definitely recommend. Mm-hmm. I think they're better than the movies. Anyway, and then they're going to bring in Wonder Woman. They mentioned about Nightwing. They're getting a jump start, and they got. They have to go in. They're forced to go in this direction. If they were, I know the second movie was supposed to be another Batman. I think something a variation of a Joker. No, I'm sorry, not Batman. A Superman. They were supposed to bring Lex Luthor. Now they're skipping all that, and they're desperate because everybody else is coming out of the board. So now
they keep going back to the well. They can go back to the well just so many times.
Yeah, I mean we know about the story about Superman. I mean Kevin Smith wrote a story with Brainiac.
That would have been brilliant.
Yeah, they didn't want to use it. Again, with the Lex Luthor. Forget about the Lex Luthor. We know that already.
Lex Luthor, we know the story. Brainiac is
we've seen the same story over and over again. The beginning, right? How many times are they going to do the beginning, Superman, beginning Batman?
Yeah, it's sort of like...
Spider-Man did not need a reboot,
No, it's sort of like being told the same story by a relative. Like they tell you a great story and one day... 2 years down the line, they'll tell you the same story and go, wait a minute, I heard that story already. Don't you have any more new stories?
Yeah. Okay, well,
my favorite Marvel hero and celluloid is Blade. The first Blade I thought was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's an obscure one, right? Blade.
Yeah.
The first Blade was excellent, and he's a Marvel hero. Well, thanks a lot, you guys. Great job.
Right. Thanks a lot. Good night.
Thank you for calling. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's like the Hulk. The first Hulk was so-so. The second Hulk just got better.
Yeah.
And then they got afraid because they said, they was like, where are we going to go with this?
We see you in 2 weeks, everybody.
All right.
Right here at MNN.
We'll give a shout out to Malik. Thanks a lot, Malik. All right, so we got 10 seconds.
We see you next time, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. See you.
Tuning in.
See you on YouTube. The show will be repeated on YouTube.
All right. Adios.
Okay, we're out of here.